Do you ever feel like you're living a script written by someone else? Like you're repeating the same struggles, the same emotional patterns, the same financial woes as your parents or even your grandparents? It's a haunting feeling, a whisper from the past that echoes in your present. You might ask, am I destined to repeat their suffering? In this video, we confront the profound truth of generational karma and ancestral trauma. We'll explore how unseen energetic patterns, beliefs, and unresolved issues can be passed down through your family lineage, influencing your life in ways you might not even realize. You will learn 1. The Buddhist perspective on how karma extends beyond individual lives to family lines. 2. How ancestral trauma manifests in your daily life and relationships. 3. Practical, Buddhist-inspired healing methods to consciously break these chains and create a new legacy. Think about a recurring challenge in your life. Does it feel eerily similar to something a parent or grandparent experienced? Share your observations in the comments. But first, let's journey into the subtle yet powerful forces that bind us to our past and discover the wisdom to set ourselves free. The subtle threads of generational karma. Karma isn't just about individual actions. It's a collective tapestry woven through the generations of your family. From a Buddhist perspective, karma is not merely fate or punishment, but the natural consequence of actions, intentions, and patterns. This extends beyond the individual to the family unit. Generational karma refers to the energetic imprints, its unresolved emotional patterns, and even specific life circumstances that tend to repeat within a family lineage. It's not about blame, but about understanding the subtle ways our ancestors' experiences, choices, and unhealed wounds can influence our own lives. These patterns can manifest as recurring financial struggles, relationship difficulties, health issues, or even specific emotional responses like anxiety or anger. The Buddha taught that if we remain unconscious, these karmic patterns continue, like an unbroken chain, binding us to the past. It's the unconscious repetition of suffering, passed down not through genetics, but through energetic resonance and learned behaviors. It can be disheartening to realize you might be carrying burdens that aren't entirely your own. The feeling of being trapped in a cycle can be overwhelming. However, recognizing these patterns is the first step towards liberation. It's an invitation to compassion for your ancestors and for yourself, and an opportunity to consciously choose a different path. This awareness transforms the feeling of being a victim of circumstance into an empowered agent of change, capable of healing not just your own life, but the lives of those who came before and those who will come after. Consider Maria, who always found herself in financially unstable relationships, despite her own career success. Her grandmother had lost everything in the Great Depression, and her mother had struggled with debt her entire life. Maria realized that a deep-seated fear of scarcity inherited from her lineage was unconsciously driving her choices. This wasn't about her individual financial habits, but a collective karmic pattern of lack. By recognizing this, Maria began to consciously challenge her scarcity mindset, practicing gratitude and abundance, and making financial decisions rooted in security rather than fear. This shift began to break the generational pattern of financial instability in her family. What recurring patterns do you observe in your family history? Could they be echoes of generational karma? Understanding these subtle threads is crucial, for they often manifest as deep-seated wounds within us, known as ancestral trauma. Ancestral trauma, the unspoken legacy. Some pains aren't just yours, they're inherited. Whispers of past suffering carried in your very being. Ancestral trauma, also known as intergenerational trauma, refers to the psychological and physiological effects of trauma that are passed down through generations. This isn't just about stories told, it's about epigenetic changes, unconscious behaviors, and emotional responses that are transmitted from parents to children and even grandchildren. For example, the unresolved grief of a grandparent who experienced war or famine can manifest as anxiety or a pervasive sense of insecurity in their descendants, even if those descendants never directly experienced the original trauma. From a Buddhist perspective, this can be understood as karmic imprints, where the suffering of one generation creates energetic patterns that influence the next. These traumas often remain unspoken, creating a silent burden that shapes our perceptions, relationships, and even our physical health. Recognizing ancestral trauma is not about blaming our ancestors, but about acknowledging the impact of their experiences and taking responsibility for healing these patterns within ourselves. It can be incredibly validating to realize that some of your deepest struggles might not be personal failings, but rather the echoes of collective pain. This realization can bring immense compassion for yourself and your family, transforming shame into understanding. It allows you to step out of the narrative of individual brokenness and into a larger story of collective healing. This journey requires courage, as it often means confronting uncomfortable truths and feeling emotions that may not even originate with you. But it is through this courageous engagement that true liberation begins. John, a successful businessman, found himself constantly battling an irrational fear of failure despite his achievements. He discovered that his grandfather had lost his business during a financial crisis and carried that shame until his death. John realized this fear wasn't his own, but an ancestral trauma, a karmic imprint of his grandfather's unresolved pain. Through somatic therapy and mindfulness practices, John began to process this inherited fear, allowing himself to feel the sensations in his body without judgment. This enabled him to distinguish his own experiences from his grandfather's, slowly releasing the grip of the past and finding a new sense of inner security. Are there any unexplained fears or anxieties you carry that might have roots in your family's past? But awareness is only the beginning. The true power lies in actively engaging with Buddhist healing practices to consciously break these chains. Buddhist healing. Consciously breaking the chains. The Buddha taught us that suffering is not a destiny, but a choice. And with that choice comes the power to heal. Buddhist healing offers profound tools for consciously breaking the chains of generational karma and ancestral trauma. It begins with the practice of mindfulness sati, which allows us to observe these patterns without judgment, recognizing them as impermanent phenomena rather than fixed identities. Vipassana meditation helps us to see the true nature of suffering and its causes, including those inherited from our lineage. Compassion, karuna, and loving-kindness metta-practices are crucial for healing, as they cultivate an open heart towards ourselves and our ancestors, releasing resentment and fostering forgiveness. The understanding of emptiness, sunyata, helps us to see that these karmic patterns, while real in their effects, are not inherently fixed or solid. They can be transformed. By engaging in these practices, we actively purify our mind streams, not only for our own benefit, but for the benefit of our entire family line. This is not about erasing the past, but about transforming its energetic impact, creating new, wholesome, karmic seeds for the future. This path of healing is an act of profound courage and love. It means facing the shadows, embracing vulnerability, and committing to a journey of deep inner work. There will be moments of discomfort as old patterns surface to be released. But with each step, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and freedom that radiates outwards, touching everyone around you. You become a beacon of healing, a conscious ancestor who chooses to end the cycle of suffering and initiate a new lineage of wisdom and compassion. This is the ultimate act of service to your family, past, present, and future. Sarah, who carried a deep-seated anger from her mother's unresolved grievances, began practicing meditation. Initially, it was difficult to extend loving kindness to her mother, let alone to herself. But with consistent practice, she began to feel a softening in her heart. She visualized her mother, and then herself, surrounded by light and compassion. This practice didn't erase the past, but it transformed her emotional response to it. The anger began to dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of peace and understanding. Sarah realized that by healing her own anger, she was also healing a pattern that had plagued her family for generations, creating a space for more loving and harmonious relationships. Which Buddhist practice resonates most with you for beginning your healing journey? By consciously breaking these chains, we don't just heal ourselves, we rewrite the story of our lineage, becoming the ancestor who heals the line. We began by acknowledging the haunting feeling of repeating ancestral patterns, the unspoken legacy of generational karma and trauma. But through the wisdom of Buddhist healing, we've discovered that we are not passive recipients of our past. We are empowered agents of change capable of consciously breaking these chains. By cultivating mindfulness, compassion, and understanding, we transform inherited suffering into profound wisdom. You become the conscious ancestor, the one who chooses to interrupt the cycle of pain and initiate a new lineage of healing, freedom, and enlightened living. This is not just about your personal liberation. It's about liberating those who came before you and paving a path of peace for those who will come after. Your courage to heal becomes a profound act of love, echoing through time and space, transforming your family's destiny. If you're ready to rewrite your family's story, to become the ancestor who heals the lineage, then this journey is for you. In our next video, Dharma Parenting, letting your child walk their path, we will explore how to apply this wisdom to raising children, allowing them the freedom to fulfill their own unique dharma. Subscribe to the Noble Wisdom Path to continue this transformative journey with us. Share this video with anyone who feels burdened by their family's past. And remember, the greatest gift you can give your lineage is your own awakened presence. Breaking the chain, one conscious choice at a time.